Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and this is kind of pretty different form from what I normally play. A lot of the games that I've done on this channel have been like darker, seedier things like Dark Souls, Darkest Dungeon, Doom, but I've been recently told by one of my family members who's not that much into gaming that if I want to reach a wider audience, it would behoove me to play games that aren't exactly niche, I guess. Like Slime Rancher. I've had it basically since the game first came out. Or not when it first came out, when it first came as early access. And it's kind of like a chill, just fuck around and play around game, and there's not too much. There's a end goal which I enjoy, but I can kind of just chill out and just farm and talk about shit. I don't really have to focus on the game too much or have an end goal in mind. It's just playing the game and farming, just walking back and forth, pick up some slimes, go put them back, go do things. You know? You know? You know what you know when you know. And I thought this would be the perfect time because there was a little bit of a topic that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I'll be able to get it to cover a full time frame, but I was just, thinking about the topic. And I know most people will have heard it from the horse's mouth to say, rather than from me. But, I'm still intrigued by it. And I guess I don't need to keep on explaining myself. I should just jump into it. Anyways, I was watching one of the most recent Joe Rogan podcasts with Elon Musk, and he was talking about their new thing where they're going to be able to hook up basically a chip to your brain, and it'll be able to fix up mental issues. It'll be able to fix up things like if you're paraplegic, it'll be able to help you be able to walk, or at least that's what he's saying it'll do. We'll see whenever it comes out, if it'll be able to do that. It should be able to help people with certain mental issues. It should be able to help people who have lost certain functions. It should be able to help the elderly not lose their memories due to Alzheimer's, because we'll all be affected by Alzheimer's. And it would be nice that whoever we leave behind's final memories of us aren't. I'm gonna turn off if there's an option to turn off the whatever it is, the tutorial type of shit, I would like to turn it off, but just from a brief overview of what's going on in here, I don't see a turn off tutorial, so I'll just leave it. Anyways, they'll be able to hook up this thing to your brain that'll be able to help you in many ways. And I, being an IT person, someone who studies networking and cybersecurity, and know a lot about the internet and know a lot about technology, I've always been a little bit apprehensive about my privacy, about my security, but I'm also of the opinion that, in Elon Musk's words, even in the most benign AI scenario where the AI don't overtake you, and they, or not don't overtake you, but they don't like see you as a threat or try and take you out, they will far outstrip us pretty quickly, and we will be left behind in the AI's dust. And we just won't be able to compete, and they will continue to progress and go forward well beyond us being able to do anything. And it's things like these that, while I fear they might produce a security concern, being able to hook basically a machine to your brain, and will probably open up the chances for, you know, biological hackers or viruses and things like that. I like the idea that we will be able to upgrade ourselves and slowly bring ourselves up to the standard of intellect and just brain processing speed that computers can use. Because it means, in the nightmare scenario where AI try and take us out, we might just be at even levels to them. We might not even need AI if we're able to basically make ourselves the AI, if we're able to make ourselves cyborgs on the level of just thinking ability. Because why would you want an AI if you could just do it yourself? But I just thought it was an interesting topic to ponder, especially since he said, and God willing, I don't know why there's so many phrases that are just in my lexicon that, you know, I'm not religious, but I've heard people say, like, God willing, God forbid, pray to God, hope to God, that it's kind of just cemented in my brain to say stuff like that, even though in my mind that being doesn't exist. But that's not a tangent that I really want to go off on right at this moment. I just thought it would be something to touch upon, since, you know, I say, oh, God's fucking me over and shit like that all the time. I thought I just saw a gold jelly, but I might just be wrong. Hey, don't hurt me. Yeah, but he was saying it's pretty likely that they'll start being able to do human testing within a year. Now, that doesn't mean it will happen, but he's saying, you know, it's looking like they might be able to do human testing in a year, which means they'll start trying to implement it on people with those types of issues right away. So they'll try and implant it in a paraplegic and see how it goes. And how it works, I guess is the way I'll phrase it, is it's a 1 inch, probably like a circular shaped thing, and they cut, you know, a 1 inch diameter piece out of your skull, and they put that chip in that space, like covering that skull space, as if it was, I guess, a part of your skull. And it's got these little wires that connect to certain parts of your brain. And it helps stimulate those areas to fix the issues that are being caused. And what was I gonna say? There's something I thought of as I was talking about it, or wanted to touch upon. Oh, Joe Rogan asked him, what's the chance for rejection? That you put this foreign object as a part of your body and your body just outright tries to get rid of it. And I think Elon Musk was trying to equate it to a heart monitor, saying that, we already implant things inside our bodies that are foreign objects in our body, and we have very little rejection rate with heart monitors already. And he said, I believe he said that there should be very little rejection rate with the Neuralink. I think that's what it's called, Neuralink. And that all sounds pretty spicy. And hopefully, in my lifetime, there'll be a chance for it to go commercial. Because I will definitely be willing to put my money down to basically better myself, in the hopes that I'll be able to progress further in life due to the help of the Neuralink. Also, it can do some more minor things, like I'm very short-sighted. It would be able to fix my vision. It would be able to fix, just minor things. And he said potentially, if things keep accelerating at the rate they're accelerating, and civilization doesn't collapse, and perfect scenario, within 5 to 10 years, we'd be able to get to a point where we can communicate non-verbally, which is where, probably where the real freaky stuff will start happening, when we're actually able to use this technology to access things outside of our mind. Because the way he was explaining it seems like mostly it's just inner workings, the machine messing with your brain as it sees fit. But if we get to the point where we're able to access and interface with things outside of our own body, that's probably when the real freaky stuff starts happening, like the human hacking and the messing with people's brains. Because I assume the very first version of it will be very much like heart monitors and stuff. Like, you can't, as far as I know, like, fuck with a heart monitor really once it's in there. I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not a medical professional, and I have not done my research at this point. I'm fresh off the podcast, and I wanted to talk about it. I guess I wanted to give my first impressions and my first thoughts on this subject as I was thinking them. So in my eyes, the very first versions of this thing won't really be able to mess with you outside of whatever it was programmed to do once it was first put in there. But yeah, like I'm saying for the third time now, once it's able to just interface with other things, that's gonna be crazy. I don't know. I can't fathom it, because other than computers and phones, that's the closest I can equate it to. But if my computer or my phone gets messed up, I can still change it. I can still get a new one. Like, technology is pretty irreplaceable to us, but as far as getting a different version of it if there's a problem, if you have a neural link problem, how do you... It's... I'm just excited for the future, what it holds. Seeing what might be, what potentially could happen. These futuristic ideas that, like, 10, 20 years ago, we didn't even think about. Like, old cartoons, old TV shows, they weren't talking about basically, well, maybe making us machines, but they weren't talking about making these chips that were messing with our brains and making us, like, smarter, think faster, think better. They were talking about, like, flying cars and robots, androids and AI. They weren't talking about making us the scary monster. They were talking about more us having the scary monster at our beck and call. At that point, okay, let me put down context for this. I have not read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, but I've heard a lot of people talk about H.P. Lovecraft, talk about the ideas, talk about the concepts and everything. At that point, when would we be considered eldritch? You know what I mean? When would we start being considered non-human? And there's probably such a variety for these human enhancements. Once we start kicking off with it and it starts really exploding, that, like, when do we become the horror stories that we only dreamt about? That we, ooh, what if this happens, but now it's, actually happening. I don't know. I don't know. Would we become, like, if a human from 50 years ago, 50 years from the point that I'm talking right now, sees a human 50 years later from the point I'm talking at right now, would they see them as human, even if they looked like them, or would they see them as some monster that is taking human form, some creature, some abomination that is taking human form? It's weird to think about. And I'm not Elon Musk levels of intelligence, so I don't have the best base point for even thinking about these things or hypothesizing about these things. I could be completely wrong in my ponderings, but when they were talking about it, that was the first thing that I thought about was eldritch. Just horror. What could we become? Because eldritch isn't always a physical thing. It's a mental thing too. Like, how different will we become from the idea of human? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I hope I'm there to see it. I hope I'm able to be along for the ride. And really just... I hope I'm there. I want to see how this progresses, even if it's just for the early stages. Honestly, in my opinion, the early stages typically hold the best times. And it's only until the later stages that things start becoming ugly and nasty. So I'd say I was born in the perfect time for this type of thing to start happening. Because I'll be able to enjoy the excitement and the great energy surrounding all of this. And I won't necessarily have to be there for when things inevitably go upside down, pear-shaped, whatever. I think I've run out. I think there was one other thing that I wanted to mention upon, but I went off on the tangent about Eldritch Horror, and I kind of forgot what else I was gonna say. But I think, yeah, these ones aren't always gonna be 20 minutes. I'm looking at the clock, and this one is about 20 minutes. But this whole entire Slime Rancher series, I don't know if I'm ever gonna finish it, but I'm mostly gonna do it when I just want to talk about random things, random topics that are on my mind. Oh, don't want those gone. Yeah, I'm mostly just gonna, like, they can be an hour, they can be whatever. It's just, I'm gonna keep on talking, and whenever I run out of whatever is making my brain go, I'm gonna cut it there. So, I don't have much else to, ponder upon the topic at this point. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. I wonder what your guys' thoughts are on this type of thing. If anybody sees this, I would like to hear your opinions. And I hope everybody has a good night. See ya.